The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. Gonna hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. I can run this town. Don't you know I got the Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
keep going till my speakers come blown. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown. I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speakers come. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown. 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 Till my speakers come. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown. I'll keep going till my speakers come blown.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of ain't it Beijing, man, ain't know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could light the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino. Uh-huh.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. 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 How will I get out this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, Kidia, and 1xBet.
And hello everybody and welcome back to ESL Challenger League Season 50. Hopping on over down into the South American region now. A full day of Counter-Strike across the board and it just keeps rolling. I'm Naira Mizuki, I'm going to be one of your casters today and I'm joined by the wonderful Grimmy Rana. Freddie, how are you doing today?
Hello, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm doing amazing and even better by just the virtue that we're back for another season of ECL. It's been quite a while since we've been on one of these broadcasts. Well, hell, it's a whole new season, and yeah, I'm very excited. How are you doing? It's been a hot second.
It has. I mean, new season, new format, new everything, really. Like, everything is just kind of crazy, wild, and looking really forward to seeing how things do shape up. And of course, with this being our first day on the South American broadcast, it's really cool. You know, we're coming in kind of towards the end of the first cup, and there you go, our bracket up on the screen here. This is just a little taster of what has been going on across the season. And it looks like there's been a lot of kind of one-sided affairs across the board, but all the way towards the right, you'll see there the upper bracket final. That's where we sit currently. We're going to be doing the red Canids game versus 9Z. And then over in our lower bracket, of course, we've got some games that have been going on there. Tomorrow, we're going to have our lower bracket final, which will be played out. And then, of course, winner there will... Oh, hello. My just having some slight tech issues at the moment, folks. So give me one moment to get that back up. But yeah, as I was saying, lower bracket looking quite spicy. Freddie, how do you feel about the bracket?
Bracket. We were talking about the bracket. I think we had a little bit of tech issues there. Apologies. But The lower bracket is really interesting, and this whole bracket has shaped up very interestingly because of majority forfeit wins and losses. One of the main teams that we've got today, Red Canids, they are on the receiving end, luckily, of quite a few forfeit wins. They've only actually played one game, and they're in the upper bracket final. They beat Glories, and then they got a forfeit win over Imperial, and then a forfeit win over Dusty Roots, who had previously beaten Fluxo. So a very impressive Dusty Roots that they were able to get a forfeit win over, and that's actually quite impressive. Like, it's important that they got those wins because in the VRS you still get points even if it is a forfeit win. So Red Canids haven't played much Counter-Strike, but they're here, and you would argue they've had a pretty easy run of the bracket, all things considered them, because you look over at 9Z and they've had to get past the likes of Bestia, which I think was a really good sign for 9Z. It kind of legitimizes them a little bit, but whoever falls into that lower bracket final, consolidation final, that is a very tough cookie to crack, and I think especially if 9Z go down there, Bestia will not be looking to let Lightning strike twice.
Looking forward to seeing how that does pan out. And of course, our Kadia player to watch here is Levy, kind of a young gun, new player on 9Z. He's only been there for just a handful of weeks and already kind of showing his mettle a little bit. But, you know, when you are a new player, there's kind of a lot that's on your shoulders. And of course, a new AWPer as well. So there's a lot of kind of factors here, bringing this kid into the light and having a lot of eyeballs on him. And this is, as you said, you know, relatively important game as well to be coming out on top of. You know, the stakes quite high here with this being the very first cup. Kind of everything is on the line, but fun fact, if one team can win all 4 cups, they just go straight to Pro League and we skip the qualifier entirely. So for 9Z to be able to snag that, or for any team really, it would be phenomenal. And of course, a little bit of a spoiler there, but our talent predictions, Freddie, for once, we seem to be in unison.
Yeah, normally I like to, like, you kind of get the easy pickings and then I go the contrarian, but I think this time I made sure I got in there first, and I was like, I think 9Z are going to win. And I was like, yes, Sam, so who do you think are going to win? So yeah, I got there first this time, and 9Z is a team that I've had a love-hate relationship since IM Dallas 2024, because obviously they made semi-finals there, and it was kind of like, you know, you had Martinez, the AWPer that Levy has replaced, be a big instrument for the success. Like and he averaged a 1.13 rating across his tenure, and I think 9Z, they had a lot of pieces that worked. Like, you had that Adam S who joined in February, but his addition failed to revitalize the squad. Like, they ended last year badly. They made a good roster change of Adam S, and yet it didn't work out for them, despite Adam S still averaging a consistent rating. And it's unfortunate. Like, this 9Z paper, it had all the pieces to work, and then it just never really did work. And I think especially for Levy, that Kadia player to watch, we highlighted him, it's really interesting because this whole server is quite a packed server with experience on both sides of things. Even though Cold Zero doesn't play for Red Cats anymore, it's still a very stacked experience server. And you got Levy, this kind of youngster who, by all things account, hasn't actually got that much experience. He's played so far very well in the ECL Cup. He's actually played kind of above his levels so far in the 5 maps that he has played here, and he's also replacing Martinez. And as I mentioned, they didn't do very well with Martinez in kind of the last 8 months or so, but Martinez is a very good AWPer, so much so that he's gone over to Gentlemates now, or, well, Iberian Soul. Like, you know, he's challenging for European major qualification. So even though Martinez didn't play very well with them, the caliber that they're expecting is going to be very high, and it's very interesting how they've picked up a youngster like Levy. So I think I've got very high expectations, or just I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
Well, I think the thing for me that's really interesting is the fact that, you know, both teams have gone through kind of a revitalization of their roster. That's a nice way of putting it. But there's been quite a shuffle, right? You got two players that have only been on 9Z for like a month, and then Lucan hasn't been there like a super short amount of time. 7 months is nothing to turn your nose up at, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, you look at someone like Max, who's been on the roster for 5 years, and so 7 months is relatively young blood. And then you look over on the Red Canids, and then again you've got History, who's only been on the roster for about a month. Cowers and Ponta only about 2 months. Drop 5 months. So both of these rosters have gone through like considerable changes over the course of this year. And I mean, even if you look at like the past results that they had, they did play against one another in Thunderpick fairly recently, and it was a pretty close affair. It was a 2-1, but the rosters were somewhat different even, you know, a month and a half ago. And so even looking at that, sure, on paper we can look at this and go, oh well, yeah, we both put our predictions in, we've put our money's where our mouth is, so to speak, and we've said we think that 9Z are going to come out on top of this, but it really is tough to call, even with, you know, what the history looks like. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, what these guys are going to bring onto the table here today. And we just had some like previous map stats shown up there, and you may not have paid too much attention to it, but it certainly did feel like 9Z had a little bit of an advantage in that regard. And I think what also is really important to note is that 9Z have been playing a slightly higher caliber of team and has been performing that little bit better. You know, you can kind of look at their past results and you can think kind of swing or miss, but when you look at the results as in their placements, they've been having some decent placements in the tournaments that they've been playing in, whereas Red Canids are kind of struggling just that little bit more. So yes, their map stats looked all right, but they were playing against slightly lower caliber teams. So there's all these little asterisks and caveats that you have to keep in mind when you think about, you know, what this match is going to look like.
Yeah, the Vitas are going to be an interesting one because, as you mentioned, both teams need a win. Both teams are coming into this cup, and a shot at qualifying for Pro League would make one of these teams' season. And the veto is very interesting. So the normal insta-ban for 9Z is Overpass. The astute viewers will be looking at this and thinking, they haven't banned Overpass, they banned Mirage. And yeah, you'd be kind of correct in the confusing nature. Overpass was in Mirage is kind of like the main map for Red Canids. So instead of 9Z banning Overpass, they went to Mirage. They do sometimes kind of flip and flop between the Mirage and Overpass bans, so it's not exactly like a crazy ban to go for. It's one of their less favored maps, and it actually worked quite well for them as a veto. It also works quite well for them that Red Canids don't play Overpass. So we situate ourselves in a nuke that both teams are very happy to play, to be honest. But 9Z do love a nuke, and they should be favored there. But Train is a particular one that I'm excited to see how that unravels, because it's 9Z on paper are pretty good on this map, and on paper Red Canids are pretty inconsistent. Even with the roster changes most recently, you know, 9Z have wins over Odic and Sharks, especially that Sharks win is, I think, quite an impressive scout to be taking, as it was very new with this roster. But both teams have very early stages of their current lineups, so especially the vetoes are bound to flick and change, especially which map is the favorite. So some of these statistics I think can be taken with a pinch of salt, especially considering they've got the past core involved. But to finish off the veto, Inferno is again a very even playing field. By large, this veto seems like it's going to a 3-mapper, but I think my gut still tells me that 9Z is going to take this 2-0.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards that 2-0. And so we're kind of talking about the whole recency bias thing and the fact that they played each other, you know, just the other day. They did play Train the last time they matched up against one another. It was the decider. Neither one had kind of picked into it. And it had gotten 13-9 in favor of the Red Canids. So that, I think, has made them maybe feel confident on that map. Like maybe, you know, this is a situation where, sorry, no, I lied. 13-9 to 9Z. looking at the wrong thing there. So that's what makes it really interesting to me, is the fact that they've picked into this map that, sure, it was a close affair, but it was still a loss. And previously they had just floated it, kind of waiting to, allow it through and see, okay, well, handshake map, as we like to call it. But to kind of really put everything on the line here and pick that as your first map is very surprising, especially because they have maps that they tend to do better on. The thing is, I think that it was a bit difficult because Mirage is one of their best maps, and obviously that gets banned out really early. Then you might think they would kind of lean to a Nuke, but that ends up getting picked by 9Z anyway, but it could have been their pick. Maybe they were expecting that. The Inferno, both of them fairly comfortable on that one. I'm kind of surprised that the Ancient not only didn't come through, but it was their ban. And that's a map that they've actually done well on. So there are still like a few question marks for me here. And I think that this game lives or dies by train. That might be like a crazy bold statement to make, but I think that if Red Canids can't take this first map, I can definitely see this going just a 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a litmus test as well, because this is, I haven't seen these two new rosters. Last time I saw Red Canids was with Cold Zero and when they just got Cowers. I think this, and especially the last time these two teams played, Cold Zero was AWPing, sure. And then Martinez and Adam S were also still in the server. So it's a very different thing, but a very different beast. But here we go. It's the upper bracket final in the ESL Challenger League Season 50 South America Cup 1, Red Canids versus 9Z. Both teams have undergone pretty substantial roster changes over the last 3 months. They've almost rebuilt as a whole. It's a whole different identity for both these teams. Red Canids especially really need a win. They need to get a result where it drives this team forward. 9Z, they're on the precipice of that result. They've done very well with their new roster so far, much better than Red Canids have done with their new lineup. 9Z should be the favorites. Let's see how the cookie crumbles.
I think that for 9Z, even if they don't manage to win this one out, this is going to sound like a really terrible thing to say, but with the amount of higher tier CS that's been going on and teams kind of having to pick and choose what tournaments they participate in and, where they want to focus their priorities and so on, I think that Red Canids may have benefited somewhat from that, right? So I think that this is going to be one of their best opportunities, at least in Season 50, to get themselves a win and get themselves to that regional qualifier. For 9Z, this is a team that we expect to be doing well in this region. So even if they can't eke it out today, or this weekend rather, they still have a lot of really solid opportunities. So we'll see how, as you say, that cookie does crumble. We are just waiting to kick off here. Players might just be having some slight issues, but we'll get that going as quickly as humanly possible. And I'm really excited because, for those that know me, I love Train. I've been a big advocate of bringing this map back, and I'm so glad that we get to have it in the pool. And not only that, I barely ever get to cast it. I think the last time I cast this was when we were casting Boomich at the beginning of the year. It has been a hot minute since I've gotten to see this map, so looking forward to it. But there we go. Finally, the round is live, and we can kick off this pistol.
Map pick of Red Canids, 9Z starting on the CT side. Pickles Peak, if anyone doesn't know it, that's Huaso Peak. Just to clear that one up. What a name. Very aggressive early from the CT side. They're trying to get right into the faces of Red Canids. Lucan, the heavy hitter for 9Z, goes down. Very meek effort. At least there is one back from Urbano. Levy takes a bit of contact towards Pop, but also distances himself with that USP. 2-2 split for 9Z, and it's going to be Red Canids to ultimately end up on this A-bomb site. They're trying to contact their way out as far as possible. They get out, but Levy spots them. Venom Zero, very low HP. It does get picked off, but it's Cowers on a burner for a double. Finally shut down, and it's the two new boys for 9Z up against equally two new boys for Red Canids. It's a test of who made the best roster change right now, and that's a very well-placed piece of utility, but it does not matter when Levy is hitting headshots like that.
And taking that very early B stairs control is exactly what you want to be doing
DC'd.
as the CTs. Oh, that's rough. Unlucky, dude. We'll get him back in a mo. At least, you know what? At least it happened at the end of the round, right? Could have been worse. But yeah, so getting that early control, blocking out that space as far as possible, and denying kind of movement capability for the Ts. That's what you want to be doing for that CT side, and it kind of afforded them a lot to springboard off of, gave them a big numbers advantage, and it really limited what Red Canids' options were at that point. The B site was more or less locked out, and unless they kind of brute forced their way in, they had to rotate. So they rotate over towards A, and again, 9Z waiting in the wings, arms wide open, and they can shut that down pretty darn quickly. So a solid start here for 9Z, but a little bit of a technical issue that might just slow that momentum down a little bit. At least, you know, they did deny that bomb plant, so even into the next round, they should still have an advantage.
Do 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 do. Red Canids. We spoke. I specifically spoke about a lot about 9Z. But Red Canids. Management's gone crazy over there. I am a little bit. The Red Canids roster. Their team at one stage was Venom Zera, Cold Zera, Henny, Phelps, Nizen, and then Drop. On paper, really good roster.
Yes.
And then Henny and Phelps get benched, and then Cold Zera gets moved to Orping? Because because, you know, the two-time best player in the world on a rifle is moved to Orping. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, Fallen got moved in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And that's worked wonders. So
Yes, but there's no Kazakhstani kid cracked off Red Bull on this roster. Instead, they've kind of gone like... They've still got, as far as things go, a very strong roster on paper. Like, Kawes has played at 2 majors. He's made the Legends at the 2 most recent majors, right? Like, he had a successful stint on Pain, but as soon as he leaves Pain get better. History, as an AWPer, I like that roster move. That's the one that I look at Red Canids and I'm like, yo, okay. I like this. He was a part of my favorite South American roster ever, and that was Fluxo in 2023. They made the Blast.tv Paris Major, and they did really well internationally and won like 8 regional tournaments in a row or something crazy like that. They had a crazy time. But Red Canids have not gotten off to the best of starts. They've definitely more struggled regionally, whereas when 9Z have lost, it's against Sharks, Bestia, Fluxo. So 9Z have put themselves in a position where like, okay, we're just trying to challenge now the best in the region, and we're just slipping up there. Red Canids haven't got to that stage yet. And that's why I think this matchup is like 9Z should just be able to brush past them.
And that's kind of what I was alluding to a little bit earlier as well when we had the map stats up. And I was talking about, you know, 9Z have had good map stats against, you know, arguably higher caliber teams. And so that kind of carries that little bit more weight. So first 2 rounds, well, second round goes pretty much as expected based off of the first round results. Now Red Canids, with weapons in hand and a smattering of utility, have a bit more of an opportunity here. 9Z have opted to play that little bit more passive. We have posted Luke up into a nice little spot there to potentially try and create that crossfire for B stairs, but...
This is crazy, Reed. This is crazy. The only information 9Z have is that Luke has main control. And he's actually just given it up anyways now. That smoke, when that smoke fades in A main, there is no information anywhere on the map for 9Z, yet there's 3 of them currently on the B bomb site. Red Canids are going to go B. Do 9Z hold this?
I think they they will. I mean, currently they're kind of, they're holding on to their utility. They're, posturing for this. So it looks like we are going to hold fast here. Oh, no follow-up on the flash, but it does give them that much needed info. And with still a smattering of utility available to them, they can keep kind of stalling this out until things get uncomfortable. But now Red Canids down to the 40-second mark. So changing direction, pivoting away could become difficult. And there's possibility here for a potential lurk. Now that exec utility starts to come through, pushes 9Z off of their angles into slightly more uncomfortable positions, but there's the utility. There's that slow down. Unfortunately, Venom Zero cracks things open, gets that first kill. They're not expecting the third man, because honestly, who would be? Nice little triangle setup there. The reinforcements come through quickly, and that round is over as quick as it started.
Sorry, can we get a replay of what Levy's just done to them on upper? Like, Max, we were seeing Max. Max did amazing. He did his job to a T. But Levy wins that round outright for 9Z. Please tell me I just want to see what he actually did. So Levy just kills everyone, by the way. Like, he single-handedly wins that round. Not only did he get the kills, but he's the one putting the flashes down on upper, getting the Molotov down lower, and then the smoke, funneling them through upper. He was the orchestrator of that round. And he's sitting 8-0. He's like a dear player to watch, for God's sake. But this is much quicker from Red Canids. No messing around. They're charging onto the A bomb site, but they're meeting Levy again. He's up to 9 kills without falling. And this is so far flawless. There is a player in a smoke. Drop will get revenge and finally... Yeah, that's actually quite annoying. Levy's died. But that's 4-0. And 9Z have lost 2 players in the last 3 rounds.
It was a tactical death because 9 divided by 0 is 0. Now he has a KD of 9. There you go. Did it for the stats. He can also buy into an AWP now, which is also terrifying, just kind of in and of itself. And obviously that being a bit of an anti-eco round.
I don't want him on an AWP.
What do you mean, brother? I want him on an AWP.
He's 9-1. Stay on that rifle.
Yeah, but what can he do with an AWP though? Like, surely it would be that much better. At least that's what my thinking. But again, I'm just like an AWP bias. Like, I'm an AWP merchant. I'm very keen to see that.
He should go for an upper peak. He's got the spawn. He's probably got the confidence. He's not going to. He's going towards Ivy.
Interesting that we've got such a heavy force out of the Canids as well. They kind of have to, obviously, but
they got all the bells and whistles. Last round was the Tech 9, so they've got they're amply put right now. The only lack of utility was History, who hasn't got head armor either, and he's also walking into Levy. These are 2 AWPers, one very well known in the scene, one not so much. Who wins out?
Do they actually come face to face though? Like, there's a bit of posturing here. There's a flash, gets him off the angle. Oh, maybe a little bit too confident there.
Yeah.
History with the history. Gonna be able to knock that one out. Maybe he should have stuck on the rifle. Too little too late, unfortunately. And now Red Canids have an opening, but not committing just yet. Poking and prodding, got that information. Now we cut noise a little bit. We do have Venom Zero kind of inserted over towards the A site here. That could create a nice little pincer. But again, 9Z have a pretty decent read on this. We've still got 2 players back towards the doors, towards
Lucan's going
the back of A site. Oh, he's rotating. And that's the power of cutting noise, right? They had no idea. Now you're getting a little bit paranoid. But here's the thing. Look at where Max is. He's way into their spawn.
Does he clear? Wait, is he actually going to see anyone?
Oh my god.
Oh! He doesn't clear. And then also, that's information. Wasso Peak goes, okay, no one's towards Ivy. Oh, it's excruciating. Everyone's rotated off. And now all the information, Wasso Peak's like, dude, what do you mean they're out A?
Oh, that's painful. And they've just gotten the site completely for free here. Lucan has picked up the AWP. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get too much with that one. And that should be done and dusted for the Red Canids. I mean, realistically, a retake here, it would be a bit of a tough ask. Maybe we can do a little bit of damage, but I'm not sure that we actually get the full retake off. And it doesn't even look like they're going to attempt to go for it. Okay, I don't know if saving was the play. I mean, they've got so much money. But there you have it. Good round from the Red Canids. What can you say?
Oh, no. Save is so legit. Like, they're not winning this round. They've got no util. They lost the AWP already, which I think was actually very negative for Lucan. I don't think he should have been going for that play because Red Canids, they get the bomb site. They are honed in on connector, pop, and backlines. And Lucan going for a solo push without any trades is very silly. Regardless though, 3 players save is completely fine. That is one of those rounds where Levy, we see flares of that inexperience. We see flares of the, oh, I can just peek because I normally hit the shot, which is a pretty big thing in South American Counter-Strike. Like, that's why we see a lot of these highly rated AWPers and a lot of decent AWPers in past come from this region in their own settings, but then when they go international, they struggle. Levy overextends, and then it's pretty poor form that Max doesn't clear Ivy. Like, he doesn't make any effort to actually clear it. He gives it a little wiggle. That's it. So it's one of those rounds for Red Canids where they do everything right. You know, fair play to them. They win the round. But is it something that's replicable? The jury's yet to be sold.
I think it's, it's one of those folly of youth things for Levy there. Also, not necessarily expecting that you're going to be running into an AWP if you re-peak that. But
I don't know. That's a pretty, like, that shouldn't be it, though. You shouldn't be like, oh, but if there's a rifle, I can re-peak it.
Yeah, sure. I'm with you. But again, folly of youth, right? You kind of, that overconfidence that comes with being young and kind of feeling untouchable. And that's not like strictly a CS thing. I'll be real. Young people think they're invincible in a variety of spheres of life.
Nothing can hurt me.
100%.
I am invincible.
And that's one of the, if you're invincible, why can't I see you? And that's one of those things that you just kind of have to go through the trials and tribulations of life to figure out. And here we go, round number 6 on board here. 9Z, as you said, with that save.
It's aggressive.
Investing into that AWP.
Sorry, pause. What's happening over at Ivy? Levy? Okay, Levy was going for an aggressive peak, and Ponta hears that and mollers them off, and that potentially spurs on a bit of this aggression over towards B, because they know there was something going on over towards Ivy. Issue is, they're not really in a position to actually commit off this. They're searching for a pick, but even if they get one, there's Levy in the back lines, and the bomb's currently just kind of chilling outside A.
Good flash, good flash. Good positioning here as well. They're very split at the moment, right? Very default heavy, kind of poking and prodding a little bit here. 9Z very much aware of the fact that despite that molly had come, the molly had come through, there could be a reaggress over towards Ivy. So you're kind of floating a little bit there. We do have that heavy stack over towards A, which obviously makes that bit more sense. But very soon the utility is going to clear. Red Canids playing a very slow game here, but they've managed to get the kill onto Urban. However, with Lucan trading that back, it does still favor the T's ever so slightly here, but 9Z, you can see they're trying to go for somewhat of a pincer. Even with all those smokes in the way here, they could potentially set themselves up for a nasty little pinch over towards this B site. But now with 20 seconds left on the clock, the Red Canids have to commit. They have to start pushing in. Very limited utility available, and of course, Levy will take full advantage of that. Venom Zera taken offline here. Now space has been garnered on the site. Levy gets taken out from up on high. Yeah, unfortunately, that ankle's just not being watched too much to keep an eye on. Lucan will drop, and drop will drop Max. And now one player left alive. And I'll be honest, this looked a little bit messy. Not covering angles as well as you could have been. And what looked like they had an advantage in this round gets snatched away.
Yeah, I mean, so Red Canids get a really nice opening kill, right? They get that opening kill towards upper. Beautiful. Kawes, what are you doing? What was that just random push out of A main the second after you get the 5 versus 4? He's trying to catch a timing where no one's looking because of what's happened on upper, but he does it just so fast that they're still kind of looking at him. And I was looking at that setup with Levy and Huaso peak, and I was thinking, yeah, they've got this. Like, this is, the util's down, Levy's in a good position, a little bit of combat AWPing is needed, but I trust him. And the issue is, it's his early reposition. He was playing very aggressive, but then moves back to his final point without getting that opening contact, without getting that opening kill, and then moves back towards oil and is just stuck in no man's land. If he had moved maybe even further back in CT, he would have had a little bit more protection. Or if Hwaso Peak had just kind of helped him. Hwaso Peak was in a very uncomfortable situation where he was waiting for upper peak. He then goes to help Levy and then upper peaks. So he gets caught between two mines, and that isolates Levy and just puts him on an island all by himself. The cherry on top, though, is history. That AWP at long range for the T side is pivotal. So his red Canids doubling down, but because of the saves, 9Z have a purchase back.
Down to only a 2-round deficit now, and Levy has certainly kind of hit the brakes a little bit. It feels like maybe a hit to the ego as well, much needed. Look at this very fast push though, taking a lot of space, like we have heavily reinforced the A site right now. Like, it's crazy to me because there's been so much B presence consistently, and they've just like massively fortified this A site. Now the bomb is still kind of angling in between. Nothing's been committed just yet, but there is a lot of presence over towards B. This could potentially sell a fake, or it could get... okay, there we go. We're just lining up for a flash there to clear out the stairs, and now the bomb can start making its way over. Now 9Z could potentially take some map control here. They haven't done so in previous rounds, which has been really upsetting for me. I've been waiting for them to actually take that and make these pincers happen, but thus far hasn't been the case. We've got Ponte in a really good spot here, but he has to kind of keep his wits about him a little bit. And despite all of that noise made over towards B, again, there's still potential to pivot back. And I think for 9Z's, you know, to their credit, they know not to read too much into a little bit of noise being made early on, because the red Canids love to run this clock down.
Oh no, the timing! What's going on?
Bro,
What's going on? Oh,
what just happened? There was like no utility there. They ran through the smoke before it bloomed, and everyone just like got mowed down.
Oh, okay. So let's run it back to the fact that they tried to fake B, but then they missed all the utility. Let's just hold on to that coin for a second. Fantastic. Well done, guys. And then on top of that, Levy pulls out. Levy is by himself holding Pop Dog. He then decides he's going to pull a smoke out and smoke it, but he gets away. Issue is then opens up Hwaso Peak, who was by E-Box. I thought he was going to get shot in the back. That's so messy by Red Canids. And 9Z get really lucky that the players on the A bomb site hit these shots. Like, the fact that Max is able to get his kill in A main gives Hwaso Peak so much space to work with, because he can just focus on that pop. But it's an idea for Red Canids that just goes so awfully wrong in execution.
But I was saying, like, for 9Z, they know, right? They don't react quickly to noise being made, because Red Canids often just run this clock down. Now, finally, a very aggressive push in towards this A site, but we've managed to garner a little bit of information there, just over top of smoke. We've spotted out one head, but is that enough to kind of keep them in a contestable position? It's getting a bit messy here. We're just kind of running out. Hwaso Peak will get one onto history. That's good. Take him off the board here. Keep that 1-for-1 trade. But the bomb's already been planted. It's just been a matter of seconds, and now it's a scuffle with very limited utility available. We're continuing to kind of trade back and forth here, down to a 2 versus 2. We're taking our ones, but it's Levy all alone with an AWP to try to retake this. They know exactly where he is. Oh, Team Flash gives Levy exactly what he needs, picks up the AK, but time is ticking away. He doesn't have a kit on him. He'll tap the bomb. Does he know he doesn't have a kit? Does he know the time's not on his side? And perhaps so, as it looks like he is just going to have to back away here. Can't even recover the AWP, and it felt like if he'd had that kit, maybe there was a chance, but unfortunately that round goes awry.
Yeah, he had 6k if I'm not mistaken. He had 6 big ones. He didn't have a kit. What a round. One of the rounds of all time. Vast play from Red Canids. It didn't work the last time. They did it on a Tech 9 round and they got completely mowed down. Hwaso Peak makes that really instant decision to go, I'm flanking Ivy. Why is Max then pushing through connector and getting killed before Hwaso Peak's in position? They need to be playing around him more, and Max throws that away. Unfortunately as well, the CT model doesn't spread, but it's a very good effort from Levy. He's playing superbly, but maybe next time buy a kit. Well, Ponta knows. Oh, okay, that's a great opening kill.
That's kind of what they were hoping for a couple rounds back, just from a slightly less aggressive position. It's the exact opener that they need. It forces Red Canids to kind of hit the accelerator a little bit yet again. They've already cracked open this B site, left relatively unguarded. Now, full retake scenarios. I say that, bomb not planted just yet, but should be put down relatively easy. 9Z kind of stuck behind a wall of smokes in a variety of directions, and despite that, Levy must have spotted out a pixel. A shot through the smoke there will help them maintain that player advantage. History perhaps looking in just the wrong direction. The HE, oh my god, Huaso Peak just that much better. Now Cowards in a 1 versus 3 scenario, and yeah, I think we fully realize that this is an unwinnable scenario, but that was some heroics from Huaso Peak.
That is a scary scoreboard to look upon. Huaso Peak and Levy both reaching double digits, and Lucan hasn't even come alive yet. Huaso Peak, Levy, and Lucan are kind of the main trio, the main contingent, as you might say. And I think a lot of people have been potentially looking at Huaso Peak and wanting more out of him, because he has got that talent. And in games like this, we're really starting to show it. He's taken things into his own hands. He's getting those opening kills. And he's closing out the round. He's making very demanding moves. And he's going to be needed once again. That's a great Molotov, again, to just stop out Cowards, who was trying to be set up to win out this round. But Huaso Peak is just making it so there's no space for him to work with.
Already a massive early opener again. But of course, with this being a little bit of an anti-eco, got the one hero AK just to try and kind of get them through as much of these reinforced lines as possible. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It's been dropped, it's been recovered, but down to only 2 players left here as Vedemzera himself bites the dust as well. We're just playing past the parcel with that rifle. It's only managed to get 1 kill so far. Can it do that little bit more? Just that little bit of economic damage, that little bit of extra cash in the pocket. A bomb plant seems nigh on impossible now. They're kind of inching over towards the B side, and the funny thing is that if they tried to go for the A plant, it might even work for them. History with the double kill, and this is actually doable. But it's going to come down to this very first 1v1. These last 2 players for 9Z are very separate from one another. He's closing in on Lucan, but instead of trying to push for that, he's going to go for that bomb plant. And that's going to kind of put the pressure onto 9Z a little bit more here. This time around, no mistakes being made with kits, but they have managed to kind of meet up, at least to some extent. They can set up somewhat of a crossfire. First player is spotted out, but now History's position is completely known and telegraphed. The smoke to come through to cover that bomb. He's going to stick it. He's just going to stick it. History, you've got to do something. And oh, he's just to the right. And with the sneakiest defuse we might see today, 9Z go up by another.
Okay. It's hard to look at that round for Red Canids and be happy because you lost, right? But the only investment was armor on Vedemzera, an AK on Cowards, and a little bit of utility. You bring everyone down with the ship, and History saves an AWP for himself. The bomb goes down as well, so look at how much money there is on Red Canids. If they're able to win this next round, they break the money of 9Z, and all of a sudden, that eco that you lost, all of a sudden, you actually won it, basically. So this is shaped up for a Red Canids 5-7 half, which would actually be very impressive considering how much they've been on the back foot, right?
I think Huaso Peaks had, yeah, feeling the pressure there. So many players pushing in down Ivy, lays down that smoke, looking to see if he can catch something. The Red Canids will use that little bit of cover to just kind of thread the needle a little bit here, but there's a potential pincer to be had. Unfortunately, it's Max who's going to be the one pressured and pushed. How? All right, cool. History, not even a quick scope. Managing to win out that duel, and this could be a foregone conclusion. The bomb is basically in the CT spawn, which is hilarious, but it's going to start making its way over towards this A site. Now, there is still a world here for 9Z, and with that kill, they're starting to make this that little bit more contestable, but we kind of lack that little bit of information. Sure, last seen 3 players towards A main, but are they still there? Have they pulled back? There's that little bit of extra time here to work with. Ponta can't get the shots to connect. Levy with the follow-up, and suddenly a foregone conclusion is a contestable scenario. Bomb still not planted, still have 30 seconds to go, and now they will be able to get that one down. Urban dangerously low here, but a little bit of damage. I mean, it's an MP9. If you can get up close and personal, you can certainly make some miracles happen. Now they are going to be pushing together, playing off of one another. The boost up over the top. He gets spotted out, and Drop will win out that confrontation. Urban swaps over onto the AK, but they know that he's there. It was a boost, so they're just going to fire on through, and he cannot get the shots to connect. Canids go up by 1 and very close to that 7-5 half that you alluded to.
Cowers wins that round outright within the 3 versus 2 for 9Z. He's played so late towards A main that Levy doesn't expect him. If Cowers doesn't get that kill and isn't in that position, 9Z win that round. But it's monumental that Red Canids bring everyone down. They eliminate every single player because look at the economy. Even one saved AK could have made a big difference here. We're going into the final round of the half. Red Canids are looking for that comeback, and there's 3 MP9s. 3 MP9s for Mass and a Deagle with barely any utility to work with.
Solid start for them, but not the way that they were hoping this map would end. I love this aggression out of B, good lord. Like, do Red Canids have even an inkling that this is the scenario they find themselves in? They don't even need an inkling. Oh, it's a slaughter. Oh, they've just rocked up at the butchery and taken every single one of those cows to pasture. And Huaso Peak cannot even get one. 7-5 it will be. Still in favor of 9Z, but Red Canids putting up a fight.
At one point, it looked like this matchup was going to be a blowout. We were sitting very comfortably for 9Z. They were making very good reads, and the individuals were popping up. Huaso, Peak, and Levy just took control of this game. But now we end the half in a 5-7 position, still in favor of 9Z, but Red Canids certainly not down an hour, and a pistol round here could definitely change the fortunes for them, and Drop and Venom Zera are moving that in a very good direction. Venom Zera, that is disgusting. And now Huaso Peak with the bomb on his back and in the known has a 1 versus 5 on the cards. He does get a Goosh on Kawes, but that's all he's going to be rewarded with. So a pistol round here legitimizes now that comeback at the end of the first half.
Very cool. I mean, worth noting, of course, that, so I mentioned previously that they had played on this map previously, and that time it had ended at an 8-4 half in favor of 9Z. So close to that score line, but not quite the same. And it was, in fact, on their CT side that they had kind of that runaway lead, much like what we kind of had now. And then, you know, over on the T side is where they had closed it out. So we'll see if that trend does continue. But unfortunately, without a bomb plant, it means that they have no weaponry, no utility, nothing to speak of. Just a little bit of gumption, a little bit of tenacity. And we'll see if they can maybe just get a little bit of damage done here at the very least.
Zero tenacity aren't playing. We're in South America.
That's why I said they have tenacity. It's not zero.
Oh, Urbano's doing his aim training. He needs it by the look of it.
Okay, Freddy.
I'm sorry.
Rude. I mean, to be fair, Levy has almost more... He's got almost as many kills as 3 of his teammates combined.
That's good.
It's where you want to be, yeah?
The eco round, done and dusted, as you expect, but the important factor is that it was flawless, so everyone comes away pretty comfortable, and History didn't even put into the previous round. Pretty good inkling that they wouldn't buy because of no bomb plant in the pistol. So he's rewarded with a AWP in the first gun round. Levy did really well in the city side as by his kill count, but there were also impact kills, right? And with the rifle. History definitely stepped up towards the end of the T side. So now with the AWP very early in his hand, I'm looking to see if he can mimic some of the magic that was produced from the youngster.
I'm not going to lie, that CT side performance is a yes but no from me, because 9 of those 15 kills happened in the first 3 rounds, and then...
And one was a...
Kinda,
I mean, like, there was still... He won a gun round single-handedly, at least.
Sure. I'm not taking anything away, but I am saying that, like, he definitely kind of foot off the gas a little bit after those first 3 rounds. But certainly an outstanding performer, topping the server. You can't take that away from him by any measure. We'll see now if he can step up to History. He's lost that duel previously. Looks like 9Z also gonna run out the clock a little bit here. Wait for the opportune moment. All right. Not quite the moment they were looking for, but when opportunity knocks, you have to answer. Unfortunately, History will be there to trade that back. Max, however, finds himself in a good position to keep that ball rolling ever further in their favor. 3 kills from Max. And it's Huaso Peak with the final kill of the round. Canids, rather 9Z, back in the driver's seat.
It's actually really scary when you look at a 9Z roster and you have every individual that can have a round like that. Like, you know, we've been putting a lot of the emphasis on Levy and Huaso Peak, and then in the pregame it would have been a lot of Lucan because of just how crazy that guy is. But then to have Max, who's able to roll up his sleeves and lead by example and produce a 3K like that, that's very dangerous, and that's a really good look for 9Z, and especially in the short term, in this matchup, the fact that they lose, what was it, like 5 in a row, Red Canids even the scoreline, but 9Z shut that down. They kind of close out any worries and regain the lead, regain their confidence, and say, no, we're actually looking to close this out 2-0, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Another timeout taken here by the Red Canids. I think very much a necessary one. Weren't expecting to lose that 3rd round quite so in such a fashion. Hopefully whatever that was discussed there nets them some results. Oh, what a flash. Okay, at least Max is there to trade that off, but the timing on that was fantastic. As the footsteps approach, will just completely blind out anyone trying to make their move. But that has, in a way, gone in favor of 9Z. Can they capitalize, however? No, it's going to be Ponta not only getting that first kill onto Huasapeak, but also Levy has been chunked dangerously low. But 9Z have zero real estate at the moment. The Red Canids have full control of the map, but it's kind of surface level. It's, they don't really have any active control, and it's very much just a case of, now that 9Z have cut noise, where are they going to be coming from? Moving down Ivy, there is at least still eyes on that. Are they going to be ready for it? Looking like we've got that AWP looking to open things up. It does get shut down, but it'll get traded. Now 3 versus 2. 9Z still have so much time to play with, but have to go for perfection. Luca unfortunately does get dropped, and Max is now all on his own, doesn't have control of the bomb, and surely you've got to think it's a save angle.
I think if he saves, they can buy next round.
At the very least, they'll have one rifle.
Yeah, I mean, the benefit of him having money in the reserve is that if he does save and they go for a half buy kind of around the save rifle, say Levy also gets a hero AK, they still will be able to then purchase up in round 18. So it looks like, yes, he is going to go for that save. Is he going to be allowed? Because they know he's here. They know he's in the back lines. Okay, Cowers hunts him down. Max dies a second before the time ticks 0. So they lose the rifle. He still gets the loss bonus. That is a very dominant round coming out from Red Canids. And 9Z, they went to plan B. They went to just walk through as a contingent through Ivy, and they get mowed down.
I'm seeing a lot of, like, dry stuff happening, right? Like, there have been some fantastic flashes, but there's also been a lot of just kind of swinging.
Yeah, they were trying to contact him with the AWP, and the AWP just, there's so many angles to watch. It's pretty hard.
Yeah. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. We go again into the next round. Once more into the breach.
Into the breach? That's a UK org. Was.
Oh my goodness. Was. Like, let's... Oh, I mean, this is just not going well. Even with the few guns that they had available, they had that Tech 9 as well. Just trying to make some space here, but... I've got to give it to Red Canids. The amount of pressure that they've been laying down, the utility that they throw down early on in the round, and then they kind of keep holding these advanced positions, and 9Z kind of feels like they have nowhere to go. She's saving again. That's rough.
Throwback to 1.6. There's the infamous Foon clip where he hops out upper. That's like my one memory of the train 1.6. The real OGs.
Before my time.
The real OGs will know what I mean. I actually started on 1.6, despite Go being out when I started playing 1.6. It's an unorthodox way to get to the end result.
At least you got there. That's what matters.
Here we are. Oh, that's
now that's from my time.
Yeah, oh, damn it, you beat me to it. I was say,
Brady, you are a child.
I was gonna say, that's a computer from your childhood.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Nah. I may be old, but my reflexes are sharp.
Damn it, you beat me to it. What a concerning couple rounds, though, for the good old 9Z roster. I mean, in principle, I thought the purchase in that last round was interesting. I wouldn't have myself gone for it. And their attempt to brute force out the A bomb site was very disconnected and disjointed. Doesn't help when Canids have really good util usage, and you got to give praise that to the CT side. They block A there superbly, and they give 9Z no good fight.
Well, it's one way to kick that off.
At least it's one of the pistols, not the saved weapons. Which is also a whole another kettle of fish of those two players won't have money in the next round if no bomb doesn't go down.
To be fair, given positioning, it wouldn't have mattered. They could have just recovered it. But fair play. 9Z now definitely feeling that pressure. Yeah, had a fairly decent move into the second half, but so far I've only been able to pick up one round, whereas for the Canids, it's been definitely their show from start to finish. Again, we're just going to kind of run that clock down ever so slightly. All going to come down to this next kill. If 9Z can at least get themselves a little bit of damage done, then maybe they'll stand a chance in the round. And there we go, a double kill in fact, but Drop with a stunning spray snatches away those chances, snatches away the Galil as well. So it's just, oh, there we go, recovered. Nice. The round is saved.
Wait, look at Venom Zero. This duel's really important. Oh my god!
Lucan!
Bye-bye. And
Okay.
he even hits a second. There's so many layers to that is just phenomenal for 9Z. It's the fact that Levy anticipates Venom Zero's flank. It's the fact that Lunka with the Galil just goes, nah, I'm gonna one-deke them. And the star boy, the big-time player of 9Z, who was sitting on 6 kills leading into round 18, just wide swings and ego peeks 2 of them. Drop did so much to drop 2 here. He gives his team the favorable opportunity, but with only 2 safe weapons, 9Z throw the rulebook out the window. They don't get the lead, but they even up the scoreline and change the whole outcome of what I thought this game was going to be. I thought Red Canids would run away with it, to be honest.
That was a nasty round. I'm still kind of reeling from the fact that it was a double deagle dink that just takes them over the line.
Our first one is mental.
And we were kind of on the fence about who our Kadir player to watch was going to be, and we'd kind of like angled over towards Lucan. And while it's been a slightly more quiet affair from him, certainly has had some high impact moments, that just being one of many. And despite Red Canids having such a good start to this half, we've still got Ponta on a less than ideal buy here. But they have managed to get that opening kill into this round. Lucan, just the very player that I was singing the praises of, gets taken offline, and that's going to create a big gap in this attacking line. See if they can find a way to recover from that. Now Red Canids kind of pulling in their forces a little bit, reinforcing themselves, making sure that they can kind of pivot off of each other. No one really poking and prodding the map too much, and I do understand why you kind of get that little bit of nervousness playing that slightly more passive angle, particularly because 9Z have had some kind of nasty aggressive rounds. But again, we're back to just kind of running down the clock a little bit. Yeah, waiting to see if there is an aggressive push. Currently nothing doing.
Ooh. That's information in favor of 9Z, that there was an attempt to play towards Pop, but to no avail. And it looks like they're going to attempt to congregate towards the A-bomb site. Wasso Peak, he's got a very favorable fight against the MP9, but good play from Ponta just to drop off, not even remotely challenge that, and just join up with his teammates to decimate the individuals coming through Pop and A main. It's another one of those contact plays that you were talking about that you weren't too much of a fan of, and I'm starting to agree with you because I don't really understand what the point was there. Everyone dies for 9Z and no one is a casualty for Red Canids.
I mean, I'll be honest, when I see 2 players kind of making their way up towards Pop alone in a funnel position, and you've got 3 players holding down the site, and sure, they're checking a variety of angles. They kind of have to. They've set up that triangle, but all they have to do is kind of turn around, and those players, as they start to put, and the worst part is that it wasn't even like a 1-2 swing, it was like a 1-for-1 thing. The bomb had been dropped and the follow-up was nasty. Yeah, just not entirely sure what the idea was there. Unfortunately, 9Z, it feels like they struggle to stabilize struggle to like figure out what, in the mid round, trying to figure out where we've lost a player early on. The original plan we had has gone to heck. What do we do now? And at that point, it feels like things kind of start to fall apart a little bit here. Red Canids have taken the lead. Double digits as well. Forced 9Z back down onto somewhat of an eco. One rifle in there. Just for that little bit of extra punch. Maybe he's going to have a tall ask ahead of him. His topping of the server has been kind of snatched away from him. Drop has actually had some really impactful multi-frags as well. Been very impressive to see what he's been capable of this evening.
Can they do it again?
Surely not.
I think Urbano's got 1 kill this half, by the way, and it was on that Galil round. That was a valiant effort. Try get Levy activated with the AK. Good old human flashbangs. Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, Luca, just stop using a rifle. He's had...
Well, to be fair, he did whiff a couple of shots on one of the players prior to that.
But... 1 deeks. I mean, Urbano's got 1 kill this half, and it was in that Galil round. Lucan's got 3. 2 were in that Deagle round, and then 1 was just there. So, Lucan and Urbano are not doing anything. Levy's got 2 kills this half. It's basically just been... And I think Waifu Big's also got like 1 or 2. We're going into round 21. It's basically just been Max, and then that 1 round with the Deagles. That's not
Another multi-kill round for Drop as well. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite players on the server.
He's eco-fragging.
It's just... I mean, it's not just eco-frags, alright? 20 and 9, they can't all be eco-frags. As bad as 9Z's economy has been up to this point. Okay, we'll keep things a little bit hot to trot here. Taking a lot of util damage as well, though. So we've got players very, very low in the health department. And that just means that it becomes cleanup as soon as they peek through. As soon as you find even a pixel through the edge of a smoke, you can follow up quite nicely here. Now, they are on the site, but the chances of them actually being able to get a bomb plant, well, whatever chances there were, slowly kind of slipping away from them. Ponta is literally in no man's land here, but the potential for a pincer is there. And there's certainly that kind of spidey sense tingling as Max has checked it a couple of times. But here we go. We'll go for another check. Oh, the timing on that is beautiful. It brings it to a 2v2. Where have Red Canids gone? Oh, they've read so badly into this. They've repositioned over towards that B site. Now, A is open, but a quick rotation is certainly possible. Is there enough time here for Levy to at least get that bomb planted? And I don't mean time on the clock, but time from Red Canids. Will they allow that to happen? Still so paranoid, checking every single angle, not willing to... Oh my god, he's slipping through the B side. There are so many layers to the paranoia that we are experiencing. What can come of it? Max does finally get that kill, however. His teammate dies on the other side of the map, but that's information garnered for Levy. With the bomb planted now, this is certainly doable. Footsteps have been heard, knows exactly where he is, and he will win that duel, and 9Z give themselves a stay of execution.
Got scary then. Venom Zero read into where Levy was post-planting, but Levy hits the shot, and he finishes off what Max started. I came into this round saying it was all Max in the second half, and he reiterates that point. 3 kills in such high impact. That second kill, the reason why Red Canids started to rotate away from the A-bomb site was because when Max got that second kill, his death cam, he faked that they were running away from A and potentially towards B. Also, when he faked out the noise and got that third kill, it drew them closer towards him. He faked, and then he knew someone was going to push out pop. He played that to perfection. He's the in-game leader for a reason. His brain is humongous. He aims. He's got great strats. He outplays. What more do you want? And now we need to see someone else from 9Z step up. Levy stepped into that position last round. We need more from Wasso, Peak, and Lucan alike.
And for the Canids, yeah, I mean, this is such an important round because if they win this, then obviously they go to map point. But if they lose it, their economy is going to be intact. tatters, and that gives 9Z an opportunity in the next round to get themselves to map point. So very much on a knife's edge here, kind of across the board, because again, or rather conversely, if 9 Canids win this round, then it's 9Z who are in a really tough position, and then the map is probably over. So both teams certainly feeling that little bit of mounting pressure here. Hasn't affected the pacing, though. We'll continue with a slightly slower approach to this one. With 30 seconds remaining, we've made our way in onto the site here. With relatively little utility used, the contact play this time around actually does net them some results. The MAC-10 sings, continues to get kills through, but history... Well, if history has taught us anything, it's that if he's still around, he can still make a play. Bomb has been lost on the site. A third for the AWPer. And Urban now lost standing, has to make a miracle with bomb lost, 6 seconds on the clock. It's going to have to be the save.
I was actually just thinking of Stars round. History hasn't had a very good second half, has he? Like, we were kind of hyping up this whole AWP versus AWP head-to-head. And if I'm not mistaken, History had like a kill or two going in this second half, going into that last round. So that's a massive step up from him. He is exactly what Red Canids needed. Drop has had this massive revitalization in this second half. And then History single-handedly wins out this round. It was a 2 versus 4. And that second shot was ridiculous. A nice little micro adjustment, a flick in the air. And it's actually going to be the third tactical timeout for Red Canids going into the potential final round and a half. They won it, but that was a 2 versus 4. So it's a massive blunder from 9Z, but fundamentally a round for Red Canids. They didn't play well, and they got saved by their AWPer, their newest recruit.
Much needed timeout coming through here. Everything has to be so perfect, and unfortunately, it does come to pass that 9Z are going to come into this round with very little. I mean, I say that. 3 MAC-10s on a map like Train, you can certainly get value off of that. Complemented with the Tech 9 and the 1 rifle there for that little bit of kind of longer range support. There's a story to be told. We'll see if that story does in fact come to fruition, or if the Red Canids can kind of just put a stop to this very, very quickly. Instantly taking a lot of aggressive space and control here. Trying to just cut them off at the pass. It's very close quarters. Spots the first. Head gets chopped clean off here. But like said, despite how closely this engagement became, 9Z still unfortunately come off the worst for it. 2 versus 3. They've managed to get themselves a little... Oh, turns away, but timing somehow on Huasapeak's side does win out that engagement. But look where the bomb is. There's somewhat of a disaster. The 2 9Z players so devastatingly removed from one another. Lucan nowhere near being able to recover a rifle, so going to be on a MAC-10 for a hot minute. And a minute is all they have. As mentioned, they have to try to recover that bomb. Oh, well, thank you very kindly. We will yoink. No, we're not going to yoink. We're going to stick with the MAC-10 here. That brings it to a far more doable scenario. Now Drop in a little bit of trouble because the potential for a pincer here is quite devastating, but I think 9Z still with a little bit of time here, and yes, regrouping and pushing this as a duo is the correct call, but there's some utility here. Beautiful use of the Molotov. Gonna stall that one out, try and buy time as much as possible. A smoke to follow as well, just to keep things spicy, but unfortunately can't keep it going for too much longer. What appeared to be an unwinnable round with the bomb lost in bloody Narnia, and somehow 9Z bring it back.
Finally, Huasapeak decides he wants to shoot back as well. And a round one where Max is the first to die. But not a round that I expected to be won out by 9Z. Red Canids put themselves in a very winnable situation. They did everything to park their car on map 2 with them going onto Nuke with the advantage. Now overtime is potentially a definite as they're going up against pistols. They're going up against 3 SMGs, Deagles, and they've made the right read. Red Canids, they went for an aggressive play towards B. There was only 1 player on the A bomb site. It's a 5 versus 4. The bomb's going down. Util's being placed, and now Huasapeak's just okay, holding for pop. And he's snapping 2 heads away. There's nothing you can do. And he's finally woken back up from his deep slumber after the first half. Cowers does pull 1 back, but it's only a sliver of hope. It's not anything substantial, and it's Wasso Peak to put the nail in the coffin. 4 rounds in the final round of the half to put them into overtime, 2 as well in the previous to get them in that position. 9Z, they're in overtime.
Definitely were not expecting the overtime, but honestly here for it. It's actually really great to see that Red Canids are putting up this much of a fight. You know, we obviously mentioned coming into this that they played each other before. It was like a 13-9 in favor of 9Z. Exactly, right? So
no.
Yeah, I was getting to that, Freddie. You know, but it's really cool to see that we are seeing like some solid contesting happening here, and it's great to see that those roster moves have worked out quite nicely for the Red Canids. How much further are we going to push this? I already said I think that this map lives and dies by train. So for Red Canids, these next few rounds are of course going to be pivotal.
A new beginning. Both teams have been the victim of CT side economy. The final round of both halves saw the CT side on a lower purchase. Never ideal when you're fighting for such high stakes. If we circle back to the original narrative that was being driven, was that both these teams are in dire need of a win. Not an isolated like series win, but something with a bit more longevity. Something called the Season 50 South America Finals. Something called a ESL Pro League spot. These are what these teams would be fighting for, and they've got potentially a bit of a lifeline. You know, like Imperial had to forfeit because of Blast London. Fluxo got eliminated by Bestia. You've got a scary Dusty Roots that put Fluxo into the lower bracket, forfeiting. So you've got a few and you've also got Flamengo with VSM out because VSM can just 1v7 apparently. But there's a lot of narratives pointing towards this is a great opportunity for the likes of Bestia and 9Z to get a win, to get into that position of the South America Finals, and especially for this roster, they just kind of need that oomph. They need that win to kickstart this new era.
As I was saying a little bit earlier on as well, right? Like, it feels like for 9Z, I mean, obviously you want to win this one, and if you could win all 4 of the cups, even better, because then you just get like an instant invite to Pro League, and we bypass the regional final entirely.
That would be crazy if they did that.
That would be nuts. But at the same time, even if they can't win this one, like I said previously, I think that they will have a lot of opportunities. However, I don't know, man. I suppose I made that statement thinking that the Red Canids were just kind of by default going to be the weaker side, kind of on the back foot from start to finish, but they've certainly proved that wrong. They've certainly proven that they have a little bit of bite, can go with their bark. And we jump into our first round of overtime here, and already the pacing has been switched up. That flash is nasty, but 9Z will take full advantage. 2 very early kills onto the Red Canids. Red Canids maybe getting a little bit too big for their britches in that round. And they've hemorrhaged 2 players away. Yes, they've done a little bit of damage, but how much of a difference is that going to make? 9Z haven't garnered any map control, though. That's all kind of happened in their own half of the map. So there's still a lot that can be played with here informationally.
Oh,
nice shot from Ponta. Max, I don't know, a bit of a whiff there from him. But maybe that gives the Red Canids just what they need to stay in this history. There you go. Beautiful trade back. What is happening? Okay, Ponta's going to get shut down there. Now somehow 9Z have taken so much map space. The Red Canids been backed into a corner. Levy's got an off angle, and while history is scoped in, he's just going to get deleted. And all opportunities for Red Canids in this round have been snatched away.
Yeah, I mean, there was... I'd say there was actually more than a lifeline. It was a 3 versus 3. It's not over just yet, actually. I thought Venom Zero was going to save, but he's posturing to go for this retake. This smoke could let him out of connector. No, Urbano has the right idea. Urbano's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. He can maybe get towards the back of the bomb site, go to heaven, but no. He actually sends him quite literally to heaven. But that's a really good opener for 9Z, and especially as like the two big names, right? Cowers and Drop, who have been the main heavy hitters for Red Canids, they're out of the round straight away. You're thinking round 1 by 9Z. But then Ponta and History, especially that root position from History, makes it winnable. But it's all in vain as 9Z win the opening round of overtime. Lucan tries to go for an aggressive play, but then doesn't actually commit. Instead, just takes loads of damage to the utility. So no bloodshed immediately, but a hefty amount of damage towards Lucan and Afflicted.
I'm going to take that same kind of crazy aggressive position they had in their previous round. It didn't really work out for them. Came close, but no cigar, unfortunately. So we'll go back to that slightly more kind of patient play, holding these longer angles. And for 9Z, of course, it's back to just kind of running that clock down until you're ready to actually go in for this exec. Now, Lucan should be kind of playing tip of the spear here. Sacrificial Lamb. But no, it looks like maybe he's going to be on flank watch, at least for now. We are heavily posturing this B site. The exec util starts to come through. They've smoked themselves off. Gap in the smoke allows them to push through, and there you go. Peak will get that first kill. Levy to follow it up. They've created a wall of sightline denial, but just enough space for themselves. However, they don't know Drop is threaded the needle. Can't stop that bomb from being planted, but will at least be able to get the kill onto the planter. Unfortunately, with position known, it's easy for Peak to win that one outright. Red Canids with very little utility to their name try to push through, but it's 9Z to pick up a second in overtime.
Oh, Urbano was supposed to be covering from for Huaso Peak, and History swings out, and Huaso Peak's like, dude, you're supposed to be covering me. Oh, you've hit the spray transfer. All good, don't worry, you're allowed to do that. Crispy shots coming out from 9Z, and I really got to tip my hat at Huaso Peak. He has stepped up in a massive way at the very end of this first half, and Levy, I was going to say, he's just being the ever so consistent mastermind, the youngster, the least experience on the whole server by quite a bit, is playing fantastic Counter-Strike. An opening kill there, but undermined by Drop, who was rivaling him. 25 kills to his name, and that opens up space for Venom Zero to silence Lucan. All of a sudden, an opening kill swindled. A 2 versus 4, and Red Canids looking to at least get one on the board before they go onto their T side.
This is a solid run from the Red Canids as well, right? Like, instead of going for the hyper aggression that they were doing a little bit earlier on, this time around, they know 9Z like to play the slower play style. They're going to be relatively split up, so you can take a bit of space, but not get too crazy about it. I will say, all 3 of those kills, it felt like, were players kind of caught out. I think the first one, there was a flash to play off of, but the rest of it was relatively just like, you're out in the open and Red Canids find you, and you're just kind of looking in the wrong direction. It was very, very weird how those kills came about, but if you're handed those opportunities, you'll absolutely hold on to them. Another one. There's a lot of like these contact attempts, and sometimes they do work out, and sometimes they really do just seem to go completely awry. First half of our first overtime done and dusted. 9Z still in the driving seat, but Red Canids certainly looking strong here.
I like this Levy guy.
It's good to see that his aggression is paying off now, right? Like, we saw that kind of IV attempt in round 4, that kind of, he got sat down, and that could very easily break your ego, but nope, we keep running at that wall, and eventually something's gonna give.
CT side, they've stationed him a lot towards Ivy to start with, not going for an aggressive peek anywhere. And 9Z actually played a lot of gamble stacks over towards B, but quite at a minimum like to keep 2 players over here. The second player tended to be Levy after he'd rotated early from Ivy. There's always going to be Max to support Lucan. And, oh, sorry, Abano. I got confused by the 2. Bomb looks like, as of now, it wants to end towards B. History is lining up a connector smoke, and we'll be able to flash his teammates out, and that's exactly they're just going to go. There's only 2 players actually going to be going out with these flash. Actually, no, there's not even any flashbangs. History hasn't even flashed them. What's going on?
This is what I've been saying, man. Like, contact plays are one thing, but this is just messy. We're just, like, running out, and yet somehow we're on site, and the bomb is being planted, and it is not denied whatsoever. A little bit of damage being done here. Ponta's managed to kind of slip around the back, so we've got a counter slipping. What is happening? It lurks on lurks, and somehow 9Z are still coming out on top of this one. The easiest defuse of their lives as the last 2 Red Canids players are nowhere to be found. Levy gets the final 2 kills of the round, and yes, finally that bomb does get defused. Very weird round.
It's the fact that they walk out B and Ponta's like Ivy. But he's not Ivy in a position where it's like, oh, he can play off a lurk. He's coming back Ivy. If he was playing on a lurk on Ivy, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, you know, Godspeed, play lurk. But he's in transition to come back towards B as execute goes, and there's no reason for them to pull the trigger. It's not like Ponta saw 3 getting aggressive Ivy and they went, oh, we have to spur and speed up. No, they just decided, okay, now's the time. When there's only 3 players there, and you think the AWP would flash them, no, they just go out completely dry with only a smoking connector. How very silly. And it's going to be Levy to start things off with another opening kill, this time over towards Ivy. History down for the count, and I'm pretty sure this is Red Canids map slipping through their fingers when they were at once upon a time 12-10 up.
This is crazy because, like, both teams, again, we see some phenomenal flashes and sometimes we just see these crazy dry peaks, and it's so much of a coin flip. Like, you don't know who's going to win when that happens. This time around, it was Levy that came out on top of that duel, but it could have gone either way. Now we get a flash. The flash does nothing. Yeah, it manages to dodge that one perfectly.
That was crazy dodge.
Didn't dodge that. Caught that one with his face, he did. 4 versus 3 now. Still very much in favor of 9Z. Oh my god, bro. Again, just a random Ferrari swing gets put down, but there's someone there to trade it this time, so 9Z still hold on to that advantage. Bomb is postured up towards Ivy. Ivy has been where a lot of these battles have taken place, though. So there must be some sort of an inkling that there's pressure or presence at the very least. That smoke's going to allow them a little bit of space to work with here. So it looks like they're going to try and maybe go through this, going through the CT spawn, heading on over towards that B side. But with all of that utility that's been chipped away at, 1 smoke Molotov, nah, who cares? 5 seconds left, and there's no time. That's it. He's going to have to win by elimination. And unfortunately for him, Levy makes the right decision and just hangs back. Not allowed to get that final call. 9Z in overtime, but they do it nonetheless. 16-13, they've snagged Red Canids map pick.
That was far from clean from either side, and I think it was kind of the definition of teething issues, right? You have 2 very new rosters, completely, like, the infrastructure of the rosters have changed with coaches, with the core of the players, and you had the momentum switch back and forth at multiple times that game, where it's like, that starts off, 9Z should have had more than a 7-5 half, but then we end off that second half then thinking, how is this an overtime, and how have Red Canids not closed this out sooner, as they just fundamentally but then look the better team on the CT side, and then overtime actually goes how you'd expect. 9Z played better, all the individuals are stepping up, it wasn't clean at times, but by by large, you had a fantastic performance from Huaso, Peak, and Levy specifically, but also Max maybe not at the top of the scoreboard, but his impact to get 9Z those couple very vital rounds on the T side while his individuals weren't awake cannot be understated.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like there were a lot of like hero-esque plays, but that seemed to be kind of across the board as well, right? You had like Drop getting a ridiculous number of multi-kills, and I mean, he ended the game with I think he was very close to the top of the server. I don't know if he did actually end on top. Damn, I missed it. Yeah, so I don't know if he actually did end on top, but he was way up there. Just really, really solid performance from him. And it felt like there was a kind of that like quiet, you know, rock star that you don't necessarily sing the praises of, but is just constantly being like a key pivot piece. Looking forward to seeing what does happen over on the second map. I kind of said that this was going to be our potential live and die by train. We'll find out on the next map. Will it be the 2-0 or will we head all the way over to map number 3? We'll see you after this.
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God it's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards ECL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/ECL.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Welcome back, everybody, to ESL Challenger League Season 50. Down here in South America, we're still in the midst of Cup number 1 in our upper bracket final. 9Z versus the Red Canids. Now, that first map, we had the winner we predicted, but not necessarily in the fashion we thought we would get it in, Freddie.
Yeah, that was a pretty messy affair from, to be honest, both teams. I think both teams will look at that map and be like, okay, there's a lot to improve on, by and large, just the consistency. But the fact that 9Z win Red Canids map pick kind of puts the writing on the wall. You specifically came into this best of 3 and said that this series lives and dies with Train. It's a really good litmus test to be like, where do we stand with this? And just because 9Z have won Train, they're really shaping up for the 2-0 that we both anticipated.
I'm looking forward to seeing how that shapes up. Now, of course, we're going to be moving over on to 9Z's map pick. It's going to be Nuke. That means that Red Canids get to start on that all favored, all wonderful, lovely little CT side. And I don't know. I'm not too sure what to expect here. You know, it felt like their CT side, I don't know. It's very difficult to use Train as a litmus test because it did look so messy from both sides. And it's so difficult to think, okay, well, what can we kind of glean from that we can take onto Nuke, a map that's been around in the map pool in CS2, certainly for much longer. And a map that hasn't gone through as much kind of change and adaptation as what Train has in recent times. So very difficult to kind of draw any real conclusions from that. But if the Red Canids are going to have any sort of a hope here, we're going to need to see a solid CT side from them and kind of stem some of that pressure a little bit, yeah, because if either of these teams are going to be playing it anything like they did on Train in terms of very slow, methodical, running out the clock, waiting for the last second to exit, then, you know, those A lobby pushes could become absolutely devastating, but, you know, plays towards B could become that little bit more difficult, and that's really where I want to see Red Canids kind of step up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm taking a look kind of the matches so far with 9Z, with Levy and Urbano, and they've played Nuke 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and this draws in with the teams they've lost and beaten, draws in with what I was saying at the very beginning, with when 9Z have lost, it's only been against the better teams in the region, and Nuke mimics that. Their first loss was against the Sharks, and the most recent loss was against Fluxo. So whenever they've played against, they actually beat Sharks again the second time they played. So the only times 9Z are really losing is when they are playing against the best teams in the region, but still they're able to get wins over Bestia, etc. With Red Canids, they have very similarly, whenever they've played against lower oppositions, they've beaten the likes of MLBR Academy, Game Hunters, as you'd anticipate, but they have lost to and they have still as well beaten Imperial, which is a very impressive result, but most recently did lose to Sharks. So this should be actually a really even match with both teams. Their new roster changes have proven to be quite stable on this map specifically.
I think a lot of what the pressure might be here, you know, again, just kind of looking at the format and how the ECL seasons have starting to work with the cup system, and obviously only one team from each cup gets to go forward into that regional qualifier, and so you're very, very limited on your opportunities here. And yes, there are 4 full-fledged opportunities, but obviously only 4 teams get to go through, and there are a large number of teams that are participating in these events. So it really does kind of bring its own extra layer of pressure here for the teams. Very curious to see how that's going to go. And of course, we do know that some teams I was mentioning this a little bit earlier, but with multiple tournaments kind of going on around the same time, a lot of teams have kind of had to decide, you know, where they're going to focus their attention. So to be able to win out this first cup, to know that you are guaranteed a spot in that regional final and to not have to kind of worry about that. Like, sure, you're still going to kind of aim to try and get the, I was going to say hat trick, but that's only 3. You want to get all 4 if you can, but just getting this first one will be a huge weight off of your shoulders. But let's dive on into our second map now, the Red Canids versus 9Z. And of course, this will be 9Z's map pick over on Nuke. Red Canids kicking things off here on this CT side. Now we've got a strong posturing to push through lobby. Nice little bit of util here to kind of force Venom Zero off of his elevated angle. Ooh. And as soon as he drops down, he gets deleted. But the rest of the Canids are there, ready and waiting. The cavalry has been called. And, well, that little bit of a firing gallery over on the A site.
I mean, that is just a fantastic round from Kawes. Ponta is able to clean up the final 2, but that seems easy considering what Kawes was able to orchestrate at the beginning there. That was very dominant from him, and especially someone who was playing well on train, it's very good to see that he is continuing that theme. 9Z, even though they don't get the bomb down on their T side, they still elect to purchase into this. They're scraping the bottom of the barrel though. 1 Mac 10, 4 pistols, and barely any utility. They're going fast down towards Secret.
Well, A didn't work, so we pivot. We move down over towards the B site, and for the Red Canids, either unexpected or happy to just play retake at this point. They'll get that first kill onto the late lurk. But now 9Z have garnered some space, but they've slowed things down. They know that they're still heavily at a disadvantage here. We have had a rotation in from Ponta. You hear the sounds of the doors, the sounds of the glass breaking, so much happening, no one's looking for him, good for 2, manages to stall out so much time, not able to stop that bomb from being planted, so at the very least that extra little bit of cash available, but a relatively clean round for the Canids, only losing Ponta, played a very important game of hold the line, and hold it he did.
Yeah, Ponta's had a great start to the map, and that's going to really benefit him confidence-wise, because if I'm not mistaken, he didn't exactly blow my socks off on train. He kind of had that 1 kill. Do you remember on Max when it was like the whiff, and they almost won a 3 versus 3? Oh, sorry, 5 versus 3. 3 versus 5. But like apart from that, I don't really remember any Ponta kill on train. So it is good to see him step up alongside the likes of Kawes dropping, I suppose, history. It's a very dangerous kind of level of a team. They have a lot of firepower now that I think about it. Venom Zero as well. Like, he is touted as being a very individually talented player. Especially from when I first saw him on Paqueta like a couple years ago. Oh, he was firing hard. But that bomb down in the previous round for 9Z, it's a bit awkward, right? Because they can't buy up fully. You only get 1 kill, so there's no real point pressuring the economy. So they decide to go for a middle ground of Hero AK on Huaso Peak, who ended train really well. Oh no!
Oh my, that's unfortunate.
Crazy. There is still 2 smokes. I wonder if he actually was able to pick it up in the end. But they're going to get the smokes down, but drops holding the line towards Secret. Yeah, I assume they wanted a garage smoke. So now they're just going to have to try and fight him with this AK.
Certainly doable, I suppose, but with the shots being fired, that gives information over. Drop gets 2. Another key multi-frag for that player. I mean, we're keeping this expensive. 9Z are certainly not going down without a fight. 1 versus 2, caught in a reload. Not going to be able to get too much more done there, but 3 kills. A little bit of extra cash for that next round. Taking those guns away might not seem like much right now, but if they can win this next round, then suddenly they're in a really good spot to even out the scoreline.
It's crazy how on train they instantly patched it so the smokes can't slide under the trains, on the rails on T-Spawn, but on Nuke there's still that issue. That's a rough one, because I think if there was a garage smoke, that would have been a completely different round. Drop wouldn't have been able to initiate that double kill and also drop the AK on the armored Huaso Peak. So it's a good start for Red Canids on the city side of their opponent's map pick. It's a very even map, as we were mentioning. So there's going to be no surprises. It's probably going to be a very hotly contested affair. outside smokes once again produced. Red Canids, they're probably wary that there's going to be action behind this because of what happened in that first force by round. That 9Z are not scared to go down with these. In actuality, it's going to be... we're postured for a play towards ramp and Huaso Peak to make a lot of movement outside of Max to pincer towards ramp. Everything's conjoined together, and you can see that Ponta and History are stuck between a rock and a hard place. They should need to fight together, and History is bailing them out so far.
That was quite nasty. Pulls out the USP just to get that finish off. Venom Zero pushing into a better position here and positioned perfectly to get that first, but somehow Levy manages to avoid all of those shots, ducks out of cover. Venom Zero turns his back and gets shot down. Max with a nasty swing will drop, and bring this into an even kilter here for 9Z. Bomb should get planted. They've provided just enough cover. There we go. Levy will die shortly thereafter, but Lucan is still alive now in History, the last one left alive. And this is what I was kind of talking about with the 3 kills in the previous round. 9Z very quickly win this one. They kind of cut down 4 of the Red Canids players. And yes, Red Canids should still be okay into the next round, but that snowball starts to pick up momentum.
That was a round.
Yes.
That could have gone... yeah, that was a round. Indeed. And that is my point. No, I'm just surprised it actually doesn't go as well for Red Canids after History gets that opening kill. And Venom Zero also is able to get a kill down on B, plus have support. If I'm not mistaken, I think there could have been an inkling of miscommunication. Because look at how Venom Zero dies. Look at where he's looking. He's looking towards single door. His teammate is at single door. I think Venom Zero didn't know his teammate rotated down single. And I think when he heard single, he thought that was maybe not his teammate. So miscommunication there. Everything would look like was going right for Red Canids. They made the right rotations. And yet, 9Z put their first round on the board.
Okay, we've eked out a force here for the Red Canids. No helmets available, but we do have that AWP online and a decent smattering of utility and an opening frag onto Lucan.
That's a big kill.
Yeesh.
Lobby's been cleared out.
Very unfortunate start to the round for 9Z. But they have managed to slip through outside, start making their way down towards that B site. Again, Ponta is there though. Has been a very important pivot piece down towards that bottom site and has a little bit of backup from History as well. So this is going to be quite the difficult one for 9Z. They do have that late lurk potentially set up here. And a kill here could make this very much doable. But look how heavily they've reinforced this B site. Very little information garnered, but enough to know, hey guys, they're probably headed down secret. They're probably not heading towards A. And there it is. History ready and waiting. The swing from Ponta. The follow-up from Venom Zero. And now that late lurk is just late. Not in time to assist the team. And is going to have to tuck tail.
I mean, you were saying that they had no information, but I think they had every single bit of information. Drop had the wrap outside, so it was 100% that they couldn't wrap heaven, and they couldn't either go through towards main. Lobby had previously been cleared out, and right up until the very end, Cowes was still holding towards lobby, so we knew that they hadn't re-aggressed and gone towards hut or door, so the only place they could go was down towards secret. If they were to try and wrap towards main, it would be in the crossfire of drop. Cowards would be in close position to rotate, and it would take them so long that Red Canids would be able to rotate up through heaven by the time the bomb was being planted. So that was just a perfect round, orchestrated because Lucan died. Lucan dying towards lobby when his teammates are all going to around secret just feels like a bit of negligence from him. Your teammate, you're not supposed to be the one making the play towards door there. He dies and it all falls apart, and the round, it's all his fault, to be honest.
Damn. Freddy calls it like he sees it. Peak with a hero rifle once again. Oh, you're talking about the whole util thing. I'm gonna be real. If you can fall off of vertigo while trying to line up some util, feel like a smoke falling under a fence is fair.
Nah, I don't know if that's the exact same. By the way, this has got some nuance to it. Look at this flash play in towards main. Oh, drop dodges it. Doesn't matter. Urbano hits that, and that was a flash play towards A. The bomb's going down towards B. Venom Zera's caught off in mid position. He was trying to go back towards A and then was caught between two mines. This is a 5 versus 3. It's a hero AK round.
Certainly gone a little bit awry here. Ponta, however, down below with history. The two of them have been terrifying on this B site, and it really does feel like that is their territory. The bomb is now lost. Ponta is dangerously low on health. History now, a lot of kind of weight on his shoulders as these two 9Z players try desperately to recover that bomb. A wide swing, doesn't get the shot connected, but now they know exactly where that AWP is, and it's somewhat locked into position here. So History doesn't really have a chance to rotate away. Lucan making a lot of noise. Urbano does get spotted out. Ponta will take him down. Will take down Lucan rather. But Ponta's dangerously low HP, so he can't afford to be too overly aggressive with his peaks. He's chipping away though. He's getting that little bit of damage, and as that bomb gets planted, is his position known? Yes! Urbano with a nasty little flick shot onto his head, and that is a very important round for 9Z, but felt like it could have gone either way towards the end there.
Yeah, Urbano does fantastically. He is the orchestrator for success. He sings the sweet song of death, but that was a really nice re-aggression from, I think it was Ponta at the end and History, who understood that there was a split between the attack. There were some players still on the upper bomb site, there was some still on the lower bomb site. They knew that their best opportunity was to strike when they did, and they did everything right, but what can you do when Urbano gets a 4K like that? Like, those shots were so nice, so clinical, and that's coming from a player who was far and away the worst performing player on 9Z, on map 1. And you've got these really interesting parallels being formed on Nuke, where Ponta and Urbano, the two worst players of map 1, and now the two best players of map 2.
Oh, how the turns table. We're curious to see if they can continue keeping up that pressure down towards the B side. It has been a very key pivot point so far for this kind of defensive line. Oh my god, Urbano. I'll be honest, I'm not even entirely sure how he dies there, but he does die regardless. Rest of 9Z still putting up a bit of a fight here, but they've been locked out of this lobby push, unfortunately, not able to garner the space that they wanted. All of that utility utilized, and they haven't managed to make any sort of ingress towards the site. So we'll slow down ever so slightly, try to buy some time. I love this position from Drop though. He's going to be able to get so much information out towards the spawn there. If they don't push towards him, then it's either going to be a lobby rehit or it could be moving towards ramp. But of course, History has got ramp covered. So no matter what 9Z attempt to do, the information will very, very quickly be given back to the rest of the... Oh my god, Drop is going for it. He's going for it. He's crawling in behind them, getting ready for that pincer. This could be devastating for 9Z if they wait any longer to activate. The shot will connect onto Venom Zero. That's the perfect opportunity for them. Now's the time to go. And still they stall. They're not entirely sure that the play is on the site. They now start to push in. Bomb will start to get planted, but Drop has activated. Oh my god, he's sat down, Max. Spidey senses tingling, ready and waiting. And History now is caught. 1 versus 3? Unlikely. Gonna have to save. Hold on to this AWP because they have nary a dollar to their names in this next round.
Timing couldn't have been any better there.
Or worse, depending on your perspective.
Or worse. Ooh, History. That is not what you want. That 1-for-1 massively favors the T side. Levy has picked up an incendiary. That means he can't buy Molotov for this round. He should know better. But that's actually a really big kill as well to be getting on the exit. No AWP for History. He wouldn't have, you know, they weren't going to buy into this round anyways, but it's more when you've got a full eco and an AWP, that's scary. You got to give that a bit more respect. The AWP can get a double. It can just continue to limit economy, etc., etc. But now it's just a full eco. Nonetheless, this is a valiant resurgence in the first half from 9Z. Guaranteed 4-4. On the T side of their map pick, that puts them in a phenomenal position.
Agreed. I will also just say Ponta just casually on 10-4 at the moment.
Yeah, it's like the kind of Ponta versus Urbano, the opposite of map 1.
Slight, likely a tech issue. We'll try and get that sorted out for you guys as quickly as humanly possible. Get back into the action. Because as you so astutely pointed out, right, getting 4 rounds on your T side on Nuke is fantastic. And honestly, that's kind of your bare minimum. Like, not even bare minimum. Like, I'd say that's relatively comfortable. And it doesn't look like they really show signs of slowing down. There's every possibility that they can kind of extend that, get it to like maybe even a 6-6 half here, maybe even further, depending on whether or not the red Canids can pull their socks up a little bit. And of course, this should be a very simple round going in favor of 9Z. We've seen crazier things, but with it being a full 0 buy, it seems unlikely. Seems unlikely.
South America.
Oof.
It's a step in the right direction.
You know, as a South African, I can relate to many of these technical issues.
Yeah.
It's all about the
Sucker.
South. The Southern Hemisphere, man. It's rough out here.
Yeah, you got some silver linings.
We do. We do.
Weather's better.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, all of my friends in the Northern Hemisphere are like, 18 degrees, I'm dying. Meanwhile, we're like, oh, it's like 34 degrees today. You would not live.
It's 17 degrees and I'm full sweating right now in shorts and a t-shirt.
I don't understand, man. Our air conditioners are default to 18 degrees.
Well, we don't have air conditioning in Europe.
Well, we don't have them in our houses, but we have them in our cars, and they're generally set to 18.
I think I'm maybe in the more peculiar of it takes a lot for me to get cold, and it doesn't take much for me to get warm.
That is weird. I'm the opposite, but
a lot of people
I mean, that's
are more like you, yeah.
Well, for me, it's like surgery repercussions, but that's a story for another day.
Ooh. That was the right call. Rather, it's always scary when a full buy runs out onto the A-bomb site like that with not loads of utility. Whoa, that is a fair enough double dink from History and Cowes. But this is an eco that all things are groovy. Ponted last alive. That should be 4-4, and it's not only the 4-4 that you were mentioning on the T side, but it's also just the way they've got here, right? Like if you think about how they got their first kind of started the ball, the snowball, the ball rolling was that force by win. So the way we've got here has formulated a lot of momentum from 9Z, and currently the game swing is very much in their favor, and I can imagine they end off this half in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Also, it's always nice to see that the AWPer can snipe even with a USP.
There you go.
Don't need a crosshair.
I'll give you that one. Just don't scope.
Forehead. That's what Levy's been doing wrong all this time.
He's doing nothing wrong.
Oh, that was such a good HE, bro. Just forces him into an uncomfortable spot. Nice little swing from History. The follow-up from Drop. They don't really have util to try and get across. Levy will get one onto Drop. Okay, Urbano gets to follow that up onto the secret player, but can they cross this outside position? They really don't have too much. They do have a couple of smokes.
They have enough util, they're just not using it.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because at this stage in the game, you can throw down the smokes, but everyone is staring here. And unfortunately now the worst part is it feels like Urbano is kind of caught in no man's land. Despite that, for some reason, Red Canids get a little bit over eager, get caught out in the open, and somehow 9Z might just win this round without even leaving outside. Just hard chilling and allowing Red Canids to walk into them.
9Z have been very diligent in the past of putting down the smokes outside, and I suspect that's why they went for a contact play here. It's because they wanted to catch Red Canids off guard. And to be honest, the Red Canids, they were very well poised for that. Information now garnered. History gets that kill over towards A. So, okay, we've lost our only high HP player for 9Z, but we now know that History's moved away from the A bomb side. That Molotov is really good. Urbano's got to be careful, but he does throw one back in return. Ponta is the unknown element. He's over towards the vent position. He's just going to rocket his way up. On History's contact, yeah, there you go. Ponta's trying to come up, and Urbano's not in a position to cover him. So Urbano's now left into this 1 versus 2, 21 HP. This is near impossible. The buddy system has been initiated, and it works terrifically.
I'll be honest, it certainly felt for a moment there like, okay, now I see why we didn't lay down all of those smokes, right? You wanted to have that little bit of util for later on, so that you got something to try and recover, but it did seem very messy, right? Urbano is kind of behind the more forward crate position, so for him to back away would be very difficult. You would have to invest utility into that, unless Venom Zero just arbitrarily pushes out and gets shot by Levy, and then somehow you've got a way back into the round, but then you lose one of your players, and now the last 2 players left alive are dangerously low on HP, and to their credit, they're still able to get that bomb down, and it's looking certainly doable, but it all kind of goes awry there with a missed AWP shot with some beautiful follow-up from Ponta. And what looked like it was going to be a 9Z 5th round gets stolen away by the Canids, and it's an important one. And this time around, the aggression pays off, doubles for History, looking to make it a 3rd here. The smoke's in the way, so he's just going to make the call here to back away, give that information over to the rest of the team, and now 9Z gonna have to try and find a way to stabilize in the midst of all of this chaos. Only 1 smoke here to try and garner any sort of map control. So an attempt towards Secret is looking unlikely. I say that. They have actually thrown that out. They've covered... It's not a bad play, to be honest. It's placed in such a position that now you're not entirely sure, are they pushing towards Secret? But unfortunately, there is cowards watching for that. I didn't hear, I'll be honest. I was talking.
I think Lucan's just made noise. He's just given it all away. Because you were completely on the money. Everything you said was 1,000,000% correct. And I think Lucan's just stepped. I've seen this before. I've seen Max walking out on the A bomb site from Dora and getting a headshot onto Venom Zero. I've seen this before. Oh, it's happening again. And it's so much worse than the last time. How? How?
Guess he didn't make a step. Either that or they just did not clock it.
Oh, he did. They were there. You could see the active rotation towards ramp, and then also the fact that History's rotated over towards A. Sorry, Venom Zero. Drop, brother. Round's not over. History still alive. Walk strains the crosshairs of the IGL, and Ponta on 11 kills is probably forced to slink off into the darkness. He's going to be allowed that liberty for now. Hunted down. Oh, it's not pretty. Oh, they're going to hunt him. This is gnarly, to say the least. There's flashes coming everywhere, but Ponta, they're actually only hunting him with 1.
Which is fair. I mean, you don't want to give away too much unnecessarily. You want to try and get that kill, but you want to minimize your losses, and quite a bit of chip damage done there. I think that if that HE hadn't come out and done that extra bit of damage, you might even actually just swing that, but at that point, when you know you're at a massive disadvantage, you don't really want to. So I wasn't sure. So obviously the smoke does block so much of those sightlines, but Cowers is in a really good position to just kind of keep an eye towards Secret, but as you said, if Lucan did make sound there, then that gives away the game. And despite that, 9Z just burst onto the A site with barely any utility, I might add, and just win their ones. Again, Red Canids in a very unfortunate spot here. 1 hero rifle on Ponta, who has been a little bit of a rock star in this map so far between him and History, but is it going to be enough now? I'm I'm really thinking we could see that 6-6 half. I know I mentioned it like a couple rounds back that there was certainly the possibility for it. Maybe that does come to fruition here, because again, this should be a foregone conclusion of a round for 9Z.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such an awful round for Red Canids to lose. I still don't really quite understand how they've lost it after History gets that great double opener. Like, that should just be the round over and out. Anti-eco. Oh. It's actually the exact same round from 9Z. The only difference is that they have Max going outside. So they've run the exact same anti-eco twice in a row. And the main point of that, which was so easy to observe, was the fact that there was no main smoke. And that's exactly why Venom Zero gets that kill, is because 9Z choose to not throw any smokes and just go out with 2 molos and a flashbang, basically. So it works well for them overall, but worrying that they do the exact same anti-ecos.
That being said, 9Z still get, like, very easy results. Of course, read into that quite nicely. So 6th round here for the on-paper favorites. With it being their map pick, T-side nuke, things start to look a little bit scary for the Red Canids. One more round here in this half, just to give them that little bit more to play with. I'll be honest, I think that this is potentially already almost unrecoverable, but I think that if 9Z get this 7th round, oof. We talk about the importance of a pistol when you're at a deficit, but particularly on this map, when you move on to that T side, that pistol is going to become absolutely pivotal. Now, a lot of early exec util drop laughing at that util, really. Manages to take Lucan off the board here. Has taken a ton of damage, though. Has to sacrifice a lot for that History. I don't love this forward position, and he's not even good for one. Never mind the retreat after the fact. Ponta, oh, the two of them have been so good, but this time around not able to play off of one another or with one another even. And Ponta loses his life, and with the two of them being shut out entirely, 9Z have a very clear path down towards that B site. Now, the B site is reinforced. We've got Cowards and Venom Zero waiting. They know that there's presence towards ramp here. They don't really have too much information over towards A. The drop could potentially get something if he wanted to, but there isn't full certainty of where this push is going. And indeed, it looks like instead of dropping down towards the B site, which would be the predictable play, they're going to double back around towards this A site. Now, drop is ready and waiting. 2 HP in a dream. The dream is dead, and that is a free site garnered once more for 9Z. The rotation from the Red Canids is going to be a little bit of a long one. But 9Z still being very methodical about this, not really wanting to take any unnecessary risks. They want to secure this final round here for themselves, and at a 4-2 player advantage, it seems very unlikely that the Red Canids are going to be able to bring this one back. No kit on board for either of them, and with Cowards going down, it's all down to Venom Zero. Nasty fadeaway shot there. He's still on stairs, guys. He's still there. Devastating first half, it feels like, but 9Z will take that lead every day of the week.
I'm getting flashbacks to train. Red Canids, they always give me a sliver of hope. And then they just tear it away from me. Only 5 rounds on the CT side. They're going into the meat grind as well in this pistol round. Pack it up, that's it. Pistol round done. Lucan, a 3-piece. There were 4 players there for 9Z, and Lucan gets 3 of them.
I mean, somebody's got to get that final kill, right? Not the final kill, the final shot. But it felt like he got the first shot, the second shot, the final shot.
He just got all the shots.
He was ready and waiting until he finally got put down. But that's okay. Rest of the team was there. I did talk about how pivotal this pistol round was going to be, regardless of how that last round went at the end of the half. Well, unfortunately for the Red Canids, not only do they not win the pistol, but they also don't even get a bomb plant. Not a great start to this T side. The end of this one should reflect a 9-round scoreline for 9Z. Some nasty aggression here. Cowards just gets deleted, sent straight back to the waiting room. And this should be a fairly simple round here for 9Z. If Red Canids could at least keep this relatively expensive, that would be great, but no utility. No decent weaponry. And nothing really to take these long-range battles.
No shenanigans, right?
Sure.
Venom Zero has not had a good series. He's really been struggling. And yeah, that's a worrying sign for Red Canids if Venom Zera is performing this poorly in a matchup like this. I don't know, that's a really bad sign for me. Notoriously the highest rated player in this roster, and he has, ever since I've seen him, has just been phenomenal. And what he got, like, he was also doing very poorly on map 1. He's currently chilling on 4 kills. What did he get on map 1? He got 14 kills in an overtime game. He's had 18 kills this series. That is a really bad sign. And if there wants to be this pretty courageous comeback on the T side, it's going to start with someone like Venom Zerek, you know, and Cowards for that matter. You've got the 2 heaviest hitters on 5 kills and 4 kills.
I will say, Drop is not far behind either of them, and statistically anyway, and he's definitely someone that I have been very impressed with so far throughout the day. Good to see him kind of stepping up so massively. Slight little technical issue, folks, as you can see on your screens. We'll be getting back into the action as soon as possible. Hey, look at that. Cost a bless. All I have to do is say, we're coming back, and back we are. But are the Red Canids back? Guns in hand, smattering of util. Outside denied very quickly by that Molotov. Allows Levy a lot of space to walk up here completely, well, presumably completely undetected.
They don't seem to know he's there, and even though he doesn't get any kills, he's getting a lot of information because outside smoke's being put down. Red Canids are trying to sow the seeds of deceit, but in actuality, wow.
What?
Okay.
What?
That is, Max didn't stop moving, but Red Canids trying to say, hey, maybe we're going outside. We're putting 2 smokes as well. We're going to go towards A or ramp. 9Z know all of this because Levy has maintained all of this pressure, and he might even get the second kill to drop, but finally he steps up, and there's actually no one down towards ramp for for 9Z. Lucan dropped very early on, and surely if you're Red Canids, you're thinking this is suspicious quietness. Surely there's someone down this lower bomb site. They have nowhere else to go because drops died on the extremity, so it's all Lucan, and they're not clearing him. Oh, they just haven't cleared the back of the bomb site, and now Lucan just dancing and prancing, waiting for his teammates. He dies pretty quickly there, but 1 kill I think is more than enough. A 3 versus 2 for 9Z, where it's going to be a messy retake coming out of single, but they've got the numbers advantage.
Oh, and the doors, of course, wide open here, so no crazy sound cues. History, keeping it spooky. Chesapeake instantly trades that one back. A tap on the bomb again, and there you go. Arms wide open, waiting for that swing to come through. That was crazy to me because 4 smokes were just layered on top of each other out towards outside. I mean, they were desperate to sell that outside fake, which is hilarious because if you're going outside, you're going B, and that's invariably where they ended up going anyway. So it was a bit of a weird one. They only had the 1 smoke remaining as they made their way kind of down towards ramp, and they did keep it a very expensive affair, but it felt like it was a bit redundant, I suppose. Either way, back down onto pistols, 1 little Galil, dangerously close to the end of the line again.
Yeah, the 4 smokes was fine because they wanted someone to go down secret super late. The reason why that round's so harsh for Red Canids is because of Max. It's because of Levy close outside. They're the reasons why it doesn't go well for Red Canids. It's because of the 9Z proactive gameplay. And it's another nice little gimmick from Red Canids. They're going to try wrap around towards A, but they're not going to be finding anyone out of the blue. Abano's playing a lovely position off Lucan, off Wasso Peak. These 3 in combination outshine what the Red Canids A defense was able to put on show. If you think back to Venom Zero just instantly being plucked off top hearts, it's a very distant memory to what 9Z are producing now.
I'm certainly feeling like 9Z have such a good read on just everything that the Red Canids have been trying to do, and I think this is a really good time for that timeout to come out, because as I said, right, it certainly does feel like no matter what change up they make in their approach to each of these rounds, 9Z are just kind of ready and waiting for it. Really good timing. I mean, they've had some crazy timing on their side as well, and just kept that ball consistently rolling, consistently kind of in their court. And this is a insanely important round. Like, I don't know if I can stress enough how important this is, because of course winning this round puts 9Z on map and series point, and look at the Red Canids economy. So the next round will be rough, to say the very least. Yes, they will still have that max loss streak bonus, but with how much they're spending into this round, like, they are gambling everything on this round. If they can't make this happen, even if they do, it's still going to be an uphill battle. But if they can't win this round, then this map and this series could be over. Now, a very quick slew of utility coming through. Abano, through the fire and the flames, will still be able to get his, and doesn't even take that much damage for it either. Venom Zero off blind, but let's face it, having a bit of a slow day here. Will they notice that he's not in the server? Abano just consistently being a bullet magnet here, but still alive.
Venom Zero is getting the flack. He's like, guys, I know.
Getting it from you, from me, from his players, probably from Twitch chat. You know,
players. That's a hard. 29 ADR is rough. Lucan's in a great position to close this out, and then Max is also in main. They're going to try wrap around Heaven, and yeah, this works perfectly into the hands of Lucan. Doesn't dodge the flashbang. He preemptively dodges it, but doesn't quite hit the timing. Oh, that's miscommunication. The smoke gets naded open as he hits the reload, so he's rendered ineffective, and is actually lucky to come away with his life. Red Canids now have the space to work with. History's able to snipe down Max. There's so many areas of contention, and with 30 seconds left, they just got to make a decision. Group up all together as 4 players and just go somewhere together, and they're going to choose the A bomb. So there's only 1 defender. It's Abano, who got that opening kill, but on 18 HP, surely there's not much he can do. Got me scared for a little bit when he gets that first kill, but the trade is imminent, and now Levy and Huaso Peak not close enough to try and contest the bomb being planted, but it does look like they're going to try and attempt this 2 versus 3, and with Ponta's headshot, Levy surely just goes for the save now.
One would hope. We did talk about the folly of youth during the train map, and it looks like that continues to be an issue here. Oh God, scoped in. Surely not. Surely not, brother. There is no way he's just gonna stick this.
What?
Oh my god, bro. I'm off my chair. I'm actually done, bro.
Maybe
Not
Cold
the folly
Zero
of
wasn't the
youth.
problem.
Oh my
Just no one's looking hot ever.
The fact that he does that while scoped in the whole time.
He just walks out and just like even he's like, what's going on? Oh, brother. Yeah, that's GG. If it was ever GG, that is the utmost nail in the coffin.
Honestly, like, mental boomed at that point. I don't even know how you recover from that. Oof. Still have a bye. Thank God for small graces, I suppose. I know I should be saying something really smart and clever about that previous round, but all I can think is, how's he gone and done that? And I start that whole thing off with the folly of youth, and it turns out that it's just exactly what they needed.
Exactly, yeah. In every scenario, I would suggest otherwise for going for that play, but apparently Vim it works. This is fast, and Urbano caught between no man's land. That's the bomb. The bomb's been dropped in main. Ponta missed the vent and is dropped the bomb in main. Just pack it up. Red Canids, they deserve to lose this game. This is a horrific way to close out Nuke. History's in a 1 versus 3. You know what? He's actually had a really good game, but unfortunately, Levy's just been that much better, and it'll be Red Canids beaten, but not eliminated. They get dropped down to the consolidation final, where they'll be playing up against Bestia. And it is 9Z to go into the grand finals of our inaugural ECL South American Cup.
Huge congratulations to them. We did kind of talk about how on paper it did feel like that was where this series was going to be headed. History did kind of lean itself in that direction. Yes, we did have the caveat of the fact that this is basically completely different rosters to those previous iterations, but it seems like that trend does continue. The series was won and lost on train, and Red Canids put up a good fight. Not a clean fight, but a good fight nonetheless, all the way into overtime, but couldn't close it out. Had they done that, we'd be heading on over to our fight on our third map of the series, but unfortunately stopped in their tracks. Congratulations to 9Z, as you said, booking their ticket to the grand final. It's not the end of the line, though, for the Red Canids. They'll be back tomorrow. They're going to have to play up against Bestia, and if they can win that, then we'll have an epic rematch between the Red Canids and 9Z. Will it go the same way? Will Bestia have a chance to snag that top spot? We'll have to find that out tomorrow. We do also just have a quick update for you guys about our North American match. Unfortunately, M80 has forfeited their match due to having a conflict with another ongoing tournament. So NRG will win by default. They'll move into the grand final, and M80 will move into the lower bracket final, which will be played versus Blue Jays. And that should be tomorrow evening, afternoon, depending on where in the world you are, morning. So there will not be a North American broadcast this evening. This is the end of the day here at the ESL Challenger League broadcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. Not an unexpected result, but certainly in somewhat of an unexpected fashion. It's been great to be back. We'll have a look at our bracket so far, just in case you wanted to get a visual update on what we were saying, what Freddie and I were saying a little bit earlier on. But there it is, yes. 9Z have made their way into the grand final. And as mentioned, Red Canids will be going down against Bestia. What do you think, Freddie? Who do you think is going to win that game tomorrow?
Tomorrow, 100% Bestia. 100%. 1 million percent. And it's actually going to create this really exciting grand finals. Because you've got, as we were mentioning, Bestia dropped down into lower bracket because they lost to 9Z, and 9Z is still in a position where they're looking to legitimize themselves in this circuit and with this new team. They've got these youngsters. On paper, they have a worse team. Like, fundamentally, their team shouldn't be as good as their last squad, but they're already playing better than that. than their previous team. And I think a really good opponent is Bestia to prove that. And the main reason is because only a couple weeks ago, Bestia beat 9Z in a grand finals in CCT Series 2. So you're contesting up against one of the best in the region. It legitimizes your platform if you are to win 9Z. And then also if you do win that, you win the whole event and you go to the South American finals, which is extraordinarily hype.
Yes, very, very cool. And of course, we will have the pleasure of taking you all through that grand final on Sunday as well. But we won't be here tomorrow. You'll have another pair of wonderful casters to take you through that lower bracket game. That's going to be us wrapping things up for the evening, folks. We hope you had fun. We certainly did. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow with more ESL Challenger League action. Same time, same place. We'll see you then.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, Qiddiya, and 1xBet.
I'll keep going till my feet become below. I'll keep going till my feet become below. I'll keep going till my feet become below. I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my feet become. I'll keep going till my feet become. speaker calm. I'll keep going till my speaker calm down. I'll keep going till my speaker calm down. I'll keep going till my speaker calm down.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory.